Hey y'all, if you're new here, I'm Jamie and this is Dig It Homesteading, and we are in the middle of summer gardening and harvest and preserving, and all the things are piling up. So I don't know about where you live, but where I live we're having extreme heat advisories and so on, even till 11 o'clock at night, and that makes it really hot to be using a stovetop canner in your house. So I decided to go ahead and get a product that might help me keep my house a little cooler and make things a little quicker, because we all need things to go quicker sometimes. And I do work outside the home and I do work from home as well, but I just needed to test something out, and I was highly recommended this product. And this is not a sponsored video. I paid for this with my own money, and I'll show you. I'm not really going to do it as an unboxing, even though I'm unboxing it. But have you guessed what it is? I'll pick it up and show you. That's right, I got an electric canner. And I am super duper excited for this one, because I have a very small kitchen and I have an Instapot, and I love my Instapot, and I don't want to get rid of my Instapot because it also helps me do things quicker. This is the only one. This is a Carey brand. I think there's Nesco. I think they're pretty much interchangeable. Don't quote me on that. But that they will do water bath canning, pressure canning, and they will do the pressure cooking like the Instapot. So that's what I needed in case I want to either donate my Instapot to somebody who needs one, or put it up in case I decide I need to. You know what I'm talking about. Will I get rid of it? I don't know. But I did my homework, and this is what I ended up with. See, even the cabinet space isn't enough for me to open things. Y'all, I need to do a kitchen tour for y'all. I've never seen things before in a kitchen like this kitchen. I need a new kitchen. So if you want to help me get a new kitchen, we are trying to get to 300 subscribers right now. That's our goal. Me and sister decided we wanted to do that. So hit subscribe. That'll help us out a lot. Like, comment, whatever you want to do. Share the video. But I'm going to bring you in a little closer so you can take a better look at it. Okay, as you see, it does come with the pot. And it looks coated. I've heard different people having opinions about that, and I'm kind of wondering if the Instapot will fit in there. And it does come with these. I guess this one would be like bottom rack. You could use this as a bottom rack. I don't know if you can stack in there. I haven't done any of this canning before. Maybe your quart jars to stack in there. We will have to see how that works. And you know what? While I'm thinking about it, let's see. I don't know what quart my Instapot is. It's a big one. That's all I know. PC Max. I don't know. 2/3. Y'all, that fits. This is my Instapot. Oh, that's lovely. So now I basically have 2 pots. If you know if that pot is safe to can in, let me know, because I don't know the difference and what this pot is coated with, or if that would make any sort of difference. But being able to pressure cook and things like that, and having 2, that is going to be so helpful. I don't know about y'all, but we'll cook a whole pot of something And then this pot will be in my fridge, and the next day I might need my Instapot again. So this is going to be very helpful. But it very much looks like an Instapot on the inside. I do like how this works. Although my cabinet width is going to make that a pain, but I like that it stays attached. I like it and I don't, because I usually take mine off and throw it somewhere out of the way. So I'm going to have to see how this works for me. But I do like that you don't have to worry about where you're going to set a hot lid. So that's pretty interesting. And I think we're going to have to test this sucker out. So I am going to take a minute and read the instructions. Don't tell my husband I'm going to read the instructions. Shh. And I have a project that I need to get canned up. And we will see how this thing works. It's going to be water bath canned, I believe. I need to check. But I'll be back in a little bit. Before I go, I just want to tell y'all, this is the look, my style of getting up really early this morning with sister, and we went outside, mowed the front yard. We ended up having to borrow the neighbor's lawnmower because ours was not having it. But we washed my vehicle that I have had for 14 years today, and I think I'm going to put out maybe a short, maybe a quick little video about why we were doing that. It wasn't just, you know, maintenance or things like that, but the other side of homesteading, or the other side of homesteaders having a life outside of homesteading. So if you like looking at people's vehicles or seeing what we've done, please check that out. I'll probably have that out before or after, just after one of these, after this video. So please check that out and see why we went through and not only washed but detailed this vehicle. And I love it. I still love it. Do any of y'all get I don't know, nostalgic, wanting to cling on to a vehicle that you just absolutely love for so long? You raised your babies in it and so many good memories, and you just don't want to get rid of it. But sometimes you might have to. But anyway, I'm gonna go read instructions. Don't tell nobody I said that. Y'all know how I was saying about the lid? Well, in here it's showing how to dismantle the lid, so let's try that out. It says to close it, lock, and then lift away. Close lid position, then lift the lid up and away from the smart canner body. I don't see how that's supposed to work. Hold the lid with both hands. Adjust the height between the lid and the upper edge of the cooker. Oh, I forgot that part. It says about lifted about 4 inches. That ain't working either. Oh! It's a little difficult. Maybe with time it'll become more easy. But it is removable. That's good to know. So, you know, we can check all these safety features are working and clean all the gunk that might get in, and change out your ring, your little gasket, a little bit easier without having to fight the lid falling up and down. So let's see how it goes back on. Should be the same but opposite, right? About 4 inches. Find a little hole. done. Okay, so it is a little fiddly, but I understand why. You don't want it to just be able to come off super quick when you want it to be able to stand up. But I know pressure canning might be like super scary to everybody. Everybody's heard all the stories about things blowing up, but the stovetop counters nowadays have all sorts of safety features. These have all sorts of safety features. The little thing I was playing with, that's one of the safety features. So follow your instructions. Stay with your canner if you're not familiar with canning, just to keep an eye on things, and all should be good. Trust your instructions. Do your checks to make sure your ports are open on your stovetop canners. I don't know if this one does that. I haven't got that far because I was excited about the lid. But I will tell you, where was that at? It says this smart canner will hold and process up to 4 wide mouth jars or up to 5 pints wide mouth jars or 16 4-ounce jelly jars at a time. So it is smaller batches. I don't have the biggest garden ever, so smaller batches is okay for me. And if I really have to do big batches, then I can always revert back to my stovetop canner. Or just do this multiple times, because you can set this and you can walk away because it does everything for you. And I'm going to double check that, but I'm pretty sure once you set it, you can do it and it will run its whole cycle. And that right there, that's awesome. You need to be cleaning your house, throw your thing in, go over to the next room, do your laundry. Man, not having to wait and listen and run in here and check your timer and redo a timer, watch for steam, all that. That will be golden. Golden time saving. Okay, so I have a bunch of peppers. And I haven't canned these banana peppers in a very long time because I've been having a hard time getting banana peppers to grow, but this year I have an abundance. So my husband will be quite happy to have banana peppers on the shelf because he loves them. And I have another project. I have lots of projects. We ain't gonna mess around. I have a lot of projects. I have a lot of things going on all the time. And I like staying busy. I like doing sciencey things. I like trying new things. I just like it. It's what I like to do. Which is why I'm doing this channel, because I want to share with you. And I like getting your feedback and your tips and your advice as well. And I'll go ahead and show you the front of this. This is its manual. Safe. So we shall see. Y'all don't mind me. I still have that really hot light that ain't supposed to be light. Ain't supposed to be hot to light me up in here in my super dark kitchen. And it does say it has a 1-year limited warranty. I got this off Amazon. If you're interested, I will put a link in the description so you can go check out this for yourself. Like I said, this is not sponsored. They don't know me, I don't know them. But if they want to sponsor me, they can, as long as their product's good. But everything I've heard, people love these things and have multiples of them. Where do you keep multiples of things that big? I don't have the room. Alright, so I want to just bite off all kinds of things to chew today. So I'm going to do just a recipe I found off the internet. Probably not going to follow it with all the seasonings. Don't know what I have, but I do have my jars washed and put in some warm water to keep them warm because this is going to be a hot pack. Okay, I got some lovely peppers. These I harvested yesterday, the day before. These in the bag in the back. Harvested a few days ago before that. So I need to sort through all these, get them sliced up into rings. These, look at, pretty little purple bell pepper. I thought all those plants were murdered by the chickens. But any bell peppers I'm going to chop up and put in the freezer while I'm here. And these are sweet Jimmy Nardell. And we're going to blister these for a meal, so hopefully I don't need any of those. I do have some out on the plant still, but we're going to try our best to do 5 jars. We'll see how it goes. Having this canner do what it does, I think we're going to be good with 3 or 4 even, so we'll see how we do. But I wanted to tell you what they called these racks. This one they call a steam rack, and this one is your canning rack. So you put this one down in the bottom, and then if you have the little jelly jars that I mentioned, you can stack them in this machine. So that's good to know. I'm going to go ahead and put my canning rack in the pot. And since I'm water bath canning, I need to read the instructions on how to do that, because this recipe does call for the water to be warm, since the brine is going to be warm. And I'm going to gather up some things and get right back. Just one thing to note while I grab this jar to show you. Just take note that you cannot water bath quart jars in this. Anything smaller, because look, that's barely a finger above. It wouldn't be high enough for the boil. So that's something to consider. If you want to water bath in this size, that might not be what you're looking for, but anything else would work out just fine. Alright, I've got my grandmother's colander. I think I'm going to put the Jimmy Nardell in those. All of these have already been washed. I've got my reused freezer bag, and I'm going to go ahead and start sorting all of these. The little Jimmies need to go in there. I'm scared of this. It might be a bell pepper. And this one's a little funky, but I'm going to cut off what I can and use it. If you don't like doing that, don't. Your rules, your kitchen. Since these are so little, and I'm going to go ahead and just top them. And I have a little bin off to the side that we throw to the chickens. I guess I really need something to put these in for now too. Dishwasher. So I'm just going to cut these into rings. Over and over and over. And just fill this bowl up. I don't care if they're a different color. They're actually more ripe. So I will fast forward to get you through all this, because I gotta be here but you don't. Look at me. I don't know what that one is. Is it a banana pepper? I guess it is. Yeah, because they're usually wrinklier up here. We'll throw it in there anyway. If you get ones that are pest damaged and kind of icky like this one's pretty much was turning colors already. You can open it, dry out your seeds on a paper towel, and try them for next year. If you had other peppers next to it like these, then you probably were cross-pollinated, which it's okay. It's just not going to be the same type of pepper necessarily. But I like to experiment, so let me know if you do that. You can create all sorts of pepper varieties by doing that. Look at that one. That was massive. And I do tell you, my first harvest of peppers, all the peppers were a lot bigger whenever they were ripe. Now, some of them I picked a little unripe, but nobody's gonna care around here. But it seems like the hotter we get, that the smaller the peppers are. I'm not being very accurate with my slices. I'm just trying to cut them about that thick. And you can cut them as thin or as thick as you would like them. And having to pull some apart. But I just want to thank you for spending some time with me today while I try out this new machine. And if you have this machine, will you tell me if you love it or hate it, or any issues that you've had with it that I need to be aware of, or maybe what your favorite thing is to can in this type of machine, because I am ever expanding my canning repertoire, and I would love to know what your favorite is. If you include the recipe, that's even better. Feel free. Just wanted to say, while I was chopping these up, I had a thought. You know, this isn't the biggest bell pepper, and yes, I could have bought a lot bigger bell pepper from the store for I don't even know how much they are anymore. But I wouldn't get purple and green ones, and I wouldn't have had the joy of making these plants live through all the chicken attacks, or knowing that I grew these myself, or knowing that they're organic. And how much is organic bell peppers, y'all? Because I have no idea. So they might be small, but that's just, it's always a gamble when you garden. You never know if you're going to get anything or how big anything is going to be. So it's always like this lovely little experiment, and you just work with nature and fight with nature and just try to do the best you can every year. And if you didn't fertilize enough, like these, it might have been a fertilize issue. I was too busy fighting the chickens every day to remember my fertilization schedule. Plus with the temps, you know, things affect productivity. So just because you don't have the biggest, baddest bell pepper this year, don't give up on growing them. Maybe even try a different variety next year, or try these again next year and see in comparison how they do. Take pictures or video. Another reason I started this is because this channel is because I like to document my progress. Because I don't have the biggest, baddest garden ever, but I'm going to grow everything I possibly can, and I stick it wherever I possibly can. And if something don't work out and I can't figure out why, I'll do it again. In the meantime, should I dare? I guess since it's bigger, I'm not too terribly worried. I guess I really should be, because I've never got ghost peppers to germinate, and this year I have, but I think that plant's teeny tiny and who knows if it's going to produce. But there were other spicy peppers, and I can't remember what any of them are right now, so we'll see how this is. And I don't really like fresh crunchy peppers. I like them cooked. Whatever it is nice. And if you don't like fresh crunchy peppers, grow your own. They taste better out of the garden. I gotta wash my hands. I'm covered in seeds. But it wasn't spicy, so that's good. So it can go in my sweet pepper bag in the freezer. Ooh, while I'm thinking about it, I found these in the fridge while I was getting my ingredients. These are nature planted elderberries. And we are going to have a bumper crop this year. So I got me a new gallon bag. And I am just going to freeze these. I've actually already picked through. If you haven't seen my short, I have a short out that will tell you just exactly how to make your life much easier with getting these things off the stem. But I did already collect a whole quart and gifted those to a friend of ours so she can make herself and her family fresh elderberry syrup whenever they need it. So I'm going to just pop this in the freezer, and I'll keep adding to this bag. Every time I go harvest, I pick them, clean them, and just keep adding to the bag. Okay, I was just looking, and the recipe I'm following is going to cover enough ingredients to can 6 half-pint jars. So that's going to be about 3 pint jars. So we shall see. I might end up having to make some more brine, but that's okay. Learn as you go. Take notes, write your new adjustments down to how to double your batches, and that'll help you out in the future. Get a little journal. I have a little notebook that I write down all the things, and that way I can say if I like them, if I love them, or if I need to find a new recipe. Okay, so I have 3 cups cider vinegar here going in. 2 cups of water going in, and I'm going to go ahead and get this heating up. And it asks for canning salt, which I don't have specific, or pickling salt. It asks for pickling salt, and I use kosher salt a lot of the time. And this box is so old, it needs to be used. It's coming apart. You just want anything that's not iodized to go into your canning. 1, 2, 3. So we'll get that rolling boil. So it called for 3 teaspoons salt. And it calls for mustard seed and celery seed. I don't have mustard seed. I do have celery seed. So I also have pickling spices. So I'm contemplating putting this in there. Let me smell it. No, there's a little bit of a anise smell to that, so I'll save that for our actual cucumbers. I'm about to start planting a fall garden, and I think I'm going to try to do pickle and cucumbers, just a whole bunch of them, so maybe a whole bunch will come on at once. That way sister and I can pickle some cucumbers as well. I think she would enjoy that. We all absolutely love pickles here. Anything pickled. Vinegar. My husband's English. They love vinegar. Vinegar on everything. Malt vinegar. And this is no special apple cider vinegar. This is literally, I didn't even know I had this one. I usually do use the regular apple cider vinegar for recipes like this, because you'll end up wasting your money and killing the mother if you use the good stuff in here. So there's no point wasting your money. Okay, so now we need to get our jars, and it calls for packing them with half a garlic clove, and then your mustard seed, it says half a teaspoon, and 3/4 teaspoon celery seed. Both are optional. And then add your pepper slices. Make sure to leave 1/2 inch of headspace at the top of the jar. So while this is going, we're going to bring this to a rolling boil. I'm going to go ahead and get my jars brought over here. And I'm not peeling garlic today. I am going to take help from, you know, that famous super center, and use some minced garlic. Okay, so it calls for 1 clove of garlic in the jar. No, half a clove. So, you know, my math's already done for me. Do you measure half a clove of garlic as that much? Because that's my half. I pretty much double, depending on what it is, triple the amount of garlic. And I have ordered some new seed garlic from a company that I've never used before, so keep an eye out for that. I might end up doing a video on that. And I'm only putting garlic in 3 jars, since this recipe calls for that's how many it should make for this brine, because I don't know how much of those peppers are going to fit in here. I'm guessing I'm going to get 4 or 5. I'm going to try to get 5. But we're just going to put everything in and see where we're at. And I am adding pickle crisp It's not in the recipe. You see my measurement. I don't do a whole lot of accuracies. And I don't know if that's enough. It's been a long time since I used pickle crisp. Like I said, I had jalapeno peppers canned for years. I might still have some. And they've still been good. So I've got the garlic, I've got the pickle crisp in there. We're going to have to disassemble my pepper shaker because I want some of these peppercorns in there. And I don't have any more. I don't know how many I'm putting in. And we like spicy, so between that and the garlic, we like the peppers to be sweet and the brine to have the heat. I think I will put celery seed. And if you have a tried and true recipe for something similar along the lines of the things that we like that I've mentioned in this video, please send me a recipe. I don't know where any of my old recipes are. And I know some of my family has canned, but I was never taught canning. And some of these didn't get sliced all the way through. So yeah, I don't have tried and true family recipes. So if you're willing to share with me, that would be great. But otherwise, I'll just test and trial. And this also, you know, y'all hanging out with me, seeing what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, lets me record and document what I did. Ooh, don't want to throw them on the ground. Look how pretty. I like them with the different colors. And these can be squished down a little bit. Okay. That's a one. And I done dropped one in the brine too. Use your funnel. Don't be like me. This isn't going to be something that should inhibit the seal from sealing. Plus I'm going to write my rims and stuff, so I'm not too worried about doing it like this. But if you want to use proper technique, you would apply your funnel and then your food. And I did look over the instructions for this. It's going to kind of conflict with this recipe. It says to have the water at a rolling boil to do the water bath. Well, this thing is going to do all that on its own once the jars are in there, from what I can tell. I'm sure I could simmer the water in advance, but we're just going to try it out this way and let the machine do everything on its own. I've got 4 pint jars filled, so let's see how far this will go. We're going to ladle our hot brine into our hot, well, warm jars, and we're going to leave 1/2 inch headspace. And since I might be a little shy, I'm going to get them all filled up with a decent amount of this each, and then make any adjustments or make some more brine if I need to top them off. Alright, that's about 1/2 inch. And if you have a little tool like this, this is your debubbler. And there are measurements here. This is 1 inch headspace. You put it on the rim of the jar. And that would be 1 inch, 3/4, half, and 1/4. So that's how you put it in. I'm going to try to hold this jar and show you. Like that. Woo wee, that's hot. But yeah, you just set that on the rim of the jar, and that can tell you how far your headspace is. Alright, on to the next. We're going to do this far away because everything is hot. And I don't want anything spilling. So you just run this end of the tool down all the sides, and you'd be surprised at all the air. And you see they're kind of going up to the top. It's okay to squish them back down. And then after you do that step, you put it on the 1/2 inch, and you want your liquid to just barely be below that. I'm going to wipe the rims with some paper towel and some vinegar just to make sure. And that also lets me check the rims. You really should check the rims before you do all of this to make sure they're not split. But this is a good way to check at the end to make sure nothing has happened while you've been busy doing all this stuff. And that recipe absolutely made enough for 4 quarts. This doesn't even have all the peppers I could cram in it. I'm still debating if I'm gonna run out there, but it had that much brine left over, so it's not quite enough to do a whole nother jar, which I don't have enough peppers for that anyway, so that's okay. I can just let this cool down and throw it in a jar in the fridge for the next time that I do it, and it can just be additional brine. Okay, you just hand tight, and I'm going to get me a rag. I'm going to hold it and just hand tight, well, finger tight. Okay, do that with each one of them. Okay, so I do have that canning ring in the bottom, and I'm just going to go ahead and stick all of these in there. Look how pretty they are. I'm going to stick them all in there because I don't know where the water level needs to be for 4 quarts, because this is my first time using this. I mean 4 pints. Sorry. 4 pints of homemade pickled banana peppers. And I'm going to go ahead and fill these with at least 1 inch of water. I'm pretty sure that's what it says. I'm going to reread my instructions. And to process was 10 minutes, so I will take you along as I try to figure out how to get this machine going to do what it needs to do for us. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and measure this so I can see the water displacement for 4 quarts. This is 8 cups of water so far. Going in, trying to do it carefully. My kitchen's a hot mess now, but I want to get these going and I'll clean up. Ooh, that's close. 16. Okay, and I have 4 cups. And it just says completely cover them. Ooh, they're just barely covered, so that's 20 cups. And I'll probably put 1 more cup, we'll see. Oh, that might have been 3. So about 23. Yep, right about 23 cups of water to displace that. And once that comes out of the canner, then I'll be able to see, once I remove them, about the level, so I can have it partially filled next time and not overflow it. You can always add, but you don't want it going everywhere. Okay, so let's see from here. It says fill the inner pot with water so the jars are completely covered. Close the lid and ensure pressure limiting valve, which is this, is set to exhaust. It might be kind of hard to see, but there's exhaust, airtight, exhaust. So there's also a little arrow right here. So set your exhaust on there. And that's what I don't understand. Why does it say exhaust twice? Does it matter which way it's set? Let's look it up. Okay, so I haven't seen anything in the book about it saying anything different. Exhaust, airtight exhaust. So there's two different exhausts. I guess take your pick. Let me see. That just shows exhaust, just how I have it. So that must be right. We'll have to see. This is why you need to stay close and watch things until you get familiar with your machine. It says press WB steam. Right there. Press time. The plus time. And you're going to press it for what the recipe calls for. This one calls for 10 minutes water bath. Important, make sure the pressure limiting valve, this guy up here, is set to exhaust. Next, press the start button. Do not press pressure cook button at the bottom of the control panel. Don't push that. Push that. Digital dial will begin to rotate. It's doing that. That's great. The unit should begin to boil in 20 to 25 minutes. You will see exhaust stream of steam coming from the pressure exhaust valve when boil has been reached. Then we are to press start again when the constant stream of steam is seen. This will activate the timer. Okay, so about 20-25 minutes, we're going to have a whole bunch of steam coming out of here, and then we need to push the start button again, and that will set our timer, and it will go ahead and water bath can all of that for me. So in the meantime, I'm going to clean up this mess. Yep, all that. Okay, so just a little note, one thing I've noticed about using this canner so far, that thing's going to be way easier to clean than a big old stovetop canner. I need to see if it's dishwasher safe. Oh, and also this goes to 10 psi, so it's for under 5,000 feet. And I don't know if they make any that go higher. Y'all let me know. Because there's people out there that live above 5,000 feet and probably would like one. Maybe they should make one. But yeah, got this all cleaned up. If you're wondering, this guy right here, don't mind that mess. There's more projects and seed saving and happening over there. But this, my son dropped something on my stove and cracked it. That crack goes all the way through. And so I did what I do best. And I fixed it with duct tape. And I removed the knob so nobody could accidentally turn that on. So I'm down to 3 burners. And as you can see, this is an older stove. But I'm holding out because I'd like to get a gas one. So give me some recommendations on brands of gas stoves that you love, because it's been a long time since I bought a stove and I don't know what brands are good anymore. Alright, little update. I waited and waited for a steady stream to come through. I never saw it. I can hear it. This little valve in here popped up and I can hear it coming through, but I can't really see anything. And I waited and waited again, and it turned off. So I'm just going to reset it, These could be over processed, but it's a learning process for me. So there is definitely first time new user errors going on in this, and I will show you a little bit more about what I found with the knob towards the end. But on my first attempt with this, you saw the digital thing would spin around in a circle, and it does that until the steam comes up. It would be helpful if I had the exhaust thing in the correct position, which you will see soon. I don't know why it confused me, but it did. And it basically just went through and water bathed itself for 10 minutes. And since I didn't know what had happened, I went through and did it again and tried and tested a different way and ended up pressure canning it for 10 minutes. So yes, these peppers were definitely over processed, but that's okay. Me and my husband tasted them. The flavor's great. They're soft as you would expect, and I will still be trying out other recipes, but the flavor was on point, except for I think the pressure can did something to the skin, because that made the skin a little bitter towards the end. Let me know if you know, because like I said, this is all new to me and all experimenting, but all in all, man, I absolutely love this machine, and I have used it since. And I haven't had any of the same issues that I did at the beginning, which is great. And yeah, I'm quite happy with this purchase, and I do recommend it, especially if you're new to canning. This will absolutely take a lot of the work out of it, listening to your jiggler and how many times a minute and all that extra stuff. Plus, it allows you to do smaller batches. Found pressure canning for higher altitude in this machine, so that might be helpful. Alright, I'll update you in a bit. Okay, y'all, so it did count down and do its thing. Alright, this should have no more pressure since, you know, we weren't pressure canning, we were trying to water bath, and I'll bring y'all over here and show y'all what I mean in a minute. Okay, those look lovely. So we're going to carefully remove these, and I never did go pick any more peppers. As you can see, that one's not quite full. Ooh. So I definitely could pack them a little bit more, but I'm not bothered. I got what I needed to preserved, and if I need to do more, I will. Ooh, there was a pop. They look lovely. They look cute. Okay, I want to try and show y'all. So I had this dot lined up with this, like that. And I think it needs to be between this section or this section. This one doesn't feel like it sits in there as good, but don't put it on the dot, put it between the two arrows to do your water bath. Y'all almost fell. Anyway, it's been a long hot day. Thanks for joining me. This video may be long. I don't know how it's gonna work out. I'll do my best to keep it a little bit shorter, and I hope you liked testing this out with me. I sure enjoyed it, and I can't wait to do more. And it's good to see what you need to troubleshoot, whatever. What you need to do it right. I think little details like that, to say between the two arrows in the instructions, would be good, because otherwise, why are there dots? I don't know. But anyway, figured it out. We'll know for next time. And tell me what I should can. And while you're there in the comments, please hit like and subscribe, and we thank you so much. Love you, bye-bye.